got to stand up strong. Think the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Thank you for being with me. You can jump in there. There's two lines open right now. The callers are coming in, so you can jump in though at 888-77-53773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week. My biblical question, and it's a doozy. Are you afraid you're not going to make it? Are you afraid you're not going to make it? Amazing question. Are you afraid that you're not going to make it? Amazing. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you are too busy anywhere in the world to watch the show live, and I know you podcast later, you can always podcast, of course, but you can be listening to the show while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. If you're an illegal alien beating up the cops in New York and they take you to jail, but they let you right out without bail, and now you're on the run to California on the bus, you could still be listening to the Jesse Lee Peterson show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And when you get to California and join the games or whatever you're going to do, you can podcast. Amazing. You can podcast. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell. We're on Rumble. You got to know how to rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and Cozy, COZY.TV, where Christ is King. Christ is King on Cozy.TV/JLP. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com, buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk, or rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com. All right? It's amazing. So I'm going to have to do the opening a little later in the show. So I was ready? Oh, okay. It's Friday. And for the new listeners, every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Get It Off Your Chest Friday. Every Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a gray alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
Allie Zacharias was hanging on for dear life and the life of her beloved French bulldog puppy, Onyx, after thieves snatched the dog in broad daylight.
As he started to go faster and faster, I started to say, I'm about to die. This is my death right now. I'm about to die. It was horrifying.
You should have.
I didn't think that somebody was stealing my dog. I thought it was a misunderstanding. So I was like, that's my dog. Excuse me. And she wasn't listening.
If someone stole my dog, I would probably try to kill them myself. She sped off and unfortunately took this woman with her. It's devastating that someone would take someone's animal.
This dog mama says she loves her pup like a child and is desperate to get him back.
What a mess. Unconscious people, right? They cannot see. They know not what they do. I understand it. Amazing. Remember one day this week, it was either Wednesday, I think. I could be wrong. We talked about the intellect and how the intellect is evil, and that the intellect is not, it hates God. That was yesterday. It hates God. And that's why all intellectual people hate God, including Bible thumpers. And that all intellectual people make bad decisions. And they don't try to understand why they made that bad decision or decisions. They just go to another bad decision because they're in the dark and they call the darkness the light. Woe unto the man that called good evil or evil good, right? And so the intellect is evil. And now in my country, America, sweet, sweet America, you know, God done shed his grace on thee. In my country, the intellectuals, and I understand it, they're screwing up everything. And it's unfortunate that most people won't think for themselves, and they go along with the intellectual people with degrees and secular degree, PhDs, doctor, lawyers, psychiatry, therapists, whatever they call themselves. And then the preacher with degrees, all intellectual. And the people go along with them without even examining for themselves that if it's true or not. And so in my country today, they have this diversity, inclusion mess going on. And they're putting all these black women, and I guess once in a while men, but mostly black women and women and LGBT and all that, in places that is doing nothing but causing damage. It's not making the situation better, because especially if you're black, they tell you that you don't have to know it. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to learn about it. You just come on in because you're black. And everything is falling apart because these people are so unqualified, not qualified to work in air traffic control, to fly planes, to run businesses, institutions and things like that. And so that these people know that they can get away with it, these black females and others, and so they are just getting in and everything's falling apart. They have lowered the white standard of working hard, of doing your best, studying for it, preparing for it, and just say, check off black on the paper, and you can come on now. Well, you heard about that woman from Harvard being gay, Claudine Gay. James said, Roxanne, what the? Claudine Gay. She was the so-called president of Harvard, but according to the reports, she didn't earn it. She only got there because she was black. And then they accused her of plagiarism. And then she indicated she didn't really like the Jews. And they finally got rid of her, right? And I reflected on that. And I realized that Harvard I saw a little history about Harvard on one of the history channels there. And it started out by white men. And it was an amazing school at one time. And then they came up now with this diversity thing. And they put in a black woman. And she destroyed Harvard. It's over. And that's what the blacks are being used for. It's destruction and not to build and make better. Isn't it amazing? It took a black woman to destroy an institution that was once amazing, founded by white men, not black men, white men. Well, lo and behold, we have more examples of the results of intellectualism. According to the Crimson.com, Harvard Chief Diversity and Inclusion Officer Sherri Charleston faced 40 allegations of plagiarism in an anonymous complaint filed with the university on Monday. Watch this from the Washington Examiner.
Harvard's Chief Diversity Officer, Sherri A. Charleston, has been accused of plagiarism in her dissertation. This comes less than a month after former university president Claudine Gay resigned amid backlash over her response to anti-Semitism on campus and plagiarism allegations. Charleston has been accused of lifting other scholars' language without proper attribution in her 2009 dissertation. This discovery came from a Washington Free Beacon investigation based on an anonymous complaint filed to Harvard recently. The complaint also accuses Charleston of lifting work from her husband's academic study. The complaint contains 40 examples of plagiarism, accusing her of lifting texts previously published by her advisor, Rebecca Scott, word for word. The complaint accuses Charleston of plagiarizing Scott's Degrees of Freedom, Louisiana and Cuba after slavery. Scott is a professor of history and law at the University of Michigan. In another instance, the complaint accuses Charleston of reusing her husband's 2012 study in her 2014 work.
Amazing. No one on earth is surprised by this. And there's something she stole, according to the report. She stole it from a white lady. Stole the white lady work and pretend that it was her. But no one is surprised because you tell the blacks, okay, we're going to lower the SAT scores. We're going to lower the standard. We're not going to even require you to be at work on time. Because those are white standards. That's racism. Are you surprised that they're going to start stealing like this? Same thing with the black pilots and the military. We got the weakest military now than we ever had in the history of the military. A black male running that. No one is surprised because you're telling the black nothing is required of you. It's a government program. And when you give people a government program, they're not going to do their best. Look at the illegal aliens that they're allowing to come across the borders. They're giving them free everything. Cell phones, food, rent, everything. Do you think they're going to come here and try to be better? Try to make their life better? They don't have to because they know that the government got their back. That's why they could beat up the cop and give the government the finger because, okay, you let me in. You don't even know who I am, and you let me in. That's what they're doing to the blacks. And you know, yes, the government should not be doing that, but I blame the blacks, the ones that are accepting it, because you are responsible for your own life as an adult. And you don't have to accept being dumbed down just so they can use you for a vote. You don't have to accept being dumbed down. It's amazing. And it's only going to get worse. And hardly a day goes by when you don't hear of some near miss in the airways, in the sky, airplanes. Look who is in control of air traffic control. Look who is working on the airplanes. Unqualified blacks. It's going to be a bumpy ride for those who do not overcome. You're not going to be able to handle it. But if you overcome your ego, you'll be fine. Because it's a mess. It is a mess, and the mess is intentional. The government is creating problems for you, not solving problems. Isn't that amazing? And you hire the government thinking that, oh, the government is going to make it right. Impossible. Not going to happen. And I noticed that the intellectuals get tired very easily. I don't feel like doing this work. All the Republicans are holding me back. The conservatives are against me. It's too much work because you're there on the job and you're not qualified. That's why it's too much work. Amazing. Amazing. There's this Mexican woman by the name of Sonia Sotomayor. Remember, they put her there just because she was a Mexican. And she's a mess. Just like the black woman they put on the U.S. Supreme Court because she was black and female, not because she was qualified. It's interesting, too, in the military, they're doing the same thing. They're taking out all of the white men who are qualified and replacing them with black people who are not qualified. And they're not up to doing the job. They don't even want to do the job, really. They're just doing it because you told them, come on in, it's easy, you are black. I'm being told Sonya is a Puerto Rican, not a Mexican. So Sonya is tired. She's frustrated. And she has a job that can last a lifetime. So according to the HistoryChannel.com, she is Puerto Rican. But she said that a wise Latina, she called herself, that was on CBS back in 2009. But she's frustrated. The conservative on the U.S. Supreme Court making her work. She didn't plan to work that hard. What the? They told her she didn't have to. She was a Latino or Puerto Rican. And now the conservative making her work. According to the New York Post, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor vented about being tired. I was just so tired. I was just so scared. She vented about being tired from her demanding workload on the high courts, as well as her frustration with the conservative-dominated bench. This is from Politico. Watch this.
Change happens because people care
No, you don't.
about moving the arc of the universe towards justice. And it can take time. And it can take frustration. I live in frustration.
Of course.
And as you heard, every loss truly traumatizes me in my stomach and in my heart. But I have to get up the next morning and keep on fighting.
What a loser. What a loser. I told you that females were not created to lead, they were created to follow. It's too much on a female to try to go out there and work and earn her way like that. What the? She can't do that. That's too much. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. All in my stomach and chest. And she looked worn out, too. So here's what I suggest for the intellectuals, for the females. I suggest maybe these females, or females period, those who are not working on themselves, because there are females who are now working on themselves. They have heard, you got to forgive. You got to overcome. You can overcome anger. You're not the anger. And they're working on themselves. They're waking up of all races. But they just didn't know, right? But for females like that woman, it's a mess. So maybe females like her should have listened to this man. This is a practical response to a situation. Watch this from X.
Hey, sorry, would you mind if we switch seats just for this last part? She really likes to watch out the window as we land, and it helps calm her down.
Yeah, no, even if I wanted to switch, I think it's more important that your daughter learn a valuable lesson. That's not how the world works, you know, you don't always get your way.
Are you for real, dude?
I rest my case. That's deep. I rest my case. And females are so spoiled today, they think that it's got to go their way or no way. I don't know if that real act, but it was true. Can we play that again? I want to play this again in case some of the so-called mothers and others missed it. This is from X. Just pay attention to it. It's deep, really. Whether he's acting it out or is real. Either way, it's serious. It's helpful. It is amazing. It was so nice. We're going to play it twice. Watch this from X. And the lady like, are you serious? She's not even a
Change happens because people care.
Wrong one.
Hey, sorry, would you mind if we switch seats just for this last part? She really likes to watch out the window as we land, and it helps calm her down.
Yeah, no, even if I wanted to switch, I think it's more important that your daughter learn a valuable lesson. That's not how the world works, you know, you don't always get your way.
Are you for real, dude?
Yeah. Yes, she couldn't believe somebody telling her no, just because it's her little brat. Amazing. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. If you get married. It's amazing. Some of you, according to Wikipedia, you might remember the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama. Y'all remember him? Well, according to Wikipedia, Obama put 2 women on the Supreme Court. The first Hispanic, Sonia Sotomayor, and a Jewish liberal woman, Elaine Kagan. Remember that? And the reason they were doing it because they know that hell and destruction come through the woman and that she's going to weaken it. She's going to destroy it. They know that. That's why they were doing it. They're not doing it because they think it's a natural order. They're not doing it because they think that the woman can handle it, that she's stronger than a man. They're doing it because they know she's weaker and that she's going to, because she's so angry and emotional, that she's going to bring it to his knees. And there are some ladies waking up to that, too. They realize, they was like, what the? 888-7753. 773. There's a line open line Friday. Let me go to a first-time caller out of Canada. Jason, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you, buddy?
All is well, Jason.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Listen, I just discovered you not too long ago, and I really like your message, but I'm having a really hard time struggling with forgiveness of my parents. I feel like I could utter the words, but it wouldn't be true in my heart.
And why not?
Because I haven't been able to overcome anger, and I still feel resentment.
And why do you resent them?
Just because of the way I was raised. It's like almost picture perfect to like what you said. Like my father was, he worked and he had a boxing career, and he wasn't around much, between training and working, and so that left us with our mother, who she is, as you would say, she is full of hell. and so like I still talk to her and stuff, but it's just like when I do, it's just when I think about forgiving, the memories of what I went through as a child come back, and I struggle with just truly forgiving, and I'm really trying to find the answer of how to really do it.
Have you ever done anything that you regretted and you said, "Oh, I'm never going to do that again," but you find yourself doing it again?
Oh yeah.
Have you ever felt fear and doubt and all that stuff in your life?
Yes.
Do you want to feel that way?
No.
And why not?
Because I'd rather be free of it, and I'd rather not succumb to fear and doubt and anger.
Yeah. And do you create the fear and doubt and anger that you get?
I don't know. I don't know if I create it or if it's just me getting lost in my thoughts.
And you're not able to help yourself at this point, right?
I'm struggling.
Yeah. Your parents are going through the same thing. You got that from your mother when she turned you away from your father and imposed her will on you. She made you angry. And the moment you became angry, you became like her. Anger is hatred, and you become like what you hate. So you have your mother's mindset and emotions, and it's evil. And so she turned you away from good to evil by imposing her will on you, her anger on you. But she could not help it because her mother did it to her. And her mother did it to her mother, and so on and so on. Your mother could not help herself, and just knowing that you cannot help yourself, this thing is driving you. It makes you think things and do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do, and it prevents you from doing right. So it's not you, but something else is controlling you. You're possessed in the mind and emotions, and you can't help it. Your mother has the same issue, and it may even be worse. And if you can understand that about yourself, knowing you can't help yourself, you will see that she can help herself, and you will go and apologize for resenting her.
That's a pretty good description of how I'm feeling.
Hold on for a minute. Can you hold for a minute?
Absolutely, Jesse.
All right, hold on. Let me take a break. Evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, He will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. It's amazing. We had the men's forum last night, every first Thursday night of the month. And really, there are no words to describe it, but amazing. It is way beyond amazing, right? It was wonderful. It was marvelous. It was more than the eyes can see and the heart conceive. It was an amazing fellowship last night, men's forum. And so I went to bed late. I closed my eyes only for a moment, and the moment was gone. And I'm like, what the? It's 3 a.m. already? But it was gone. And because it's like a little chilly and raining last night, I wanted to stay in bed. But a man got to do what a man got to do. It was an amazing forum last night. It really was. And we had all races there working on themselves. You got to work on you. Ain't nothing going to change until you work on you. You are responsible for you and no one else as an adult. You are not your brother's keeper. You are not your brother's keeper, so you're not responsible for anyone but you. You got to work on you. 888-7753-773. Let me go quickly back to Jason out of Canada. So, Jason, do you understand that? Do you see a little bit better that your parents could not help themselves just as you cannot help yourself?
I do.
And
I do. But I think it's just, the struggle is just, it's getting from this point to like truly letting go and being able to forgive without the resentment coming back in my heart.
And when you say truly letting go of what? What do you mean?
Like letting go of anger and letting go of the resentment.
But there's no way to overcome anger until you go and forgive. And then God will forgive you, because anyone that has anger is judging. They judge themselves, they judge everybody and everything, right? They play God.
Yeah.
And so there's no way to overcome it until you realize you're wrong for judging and go and forgive, and it will be taken away from you.
Okay.
It's a spirit that made a home in your mind and your body, and it's controlling you. And no way out of it until you realize forgiveness is saying that I'm wrong. I'm sinning by hating. I'm playing God. And that's the only way that you're going to overcome it. It got to be taken away from you. You can't take it away.
Okay. That makes more sense hearing that. Thanks, Jesse.
And you're going to shake in your boots You're gonna.
Oh man, I was shaking just calling here.
And well, but what I want you to know, and you will see it clearly if you work on yourself, right, is that the shaking that you felt calling here, the shaking you will feel going to forgive your parents, especially the mother, is not you shaking. It's the fate you, it's the false you, it's the spirit of anger that's shaking because you are letting go and letting the light take over inside of you, and the darkness is afraid of the light. It hates the light. And so it is afraid, but you've been identified with it all your life, calling it you, and you've been giving it life. But once you stop calling it you, it will die. All ideas about yourself and everything will die. It'll be taken away from you.
And it starts with that first step of going and forgiving.
Yes.
Okay.
What do you think? So, what do you think would happen if you went and forgave?
I think that if I went and forgave, like, I think I would walk away, and I just part of me wants to say that I would still feel the anger and the resentment, even though I uttered the words, "I forgive you."
And who is telling you that?
Oh, my thoughts.
And are your thoughts your thoughts? Why would you tell yourself that?
I don't know, Jesse.
So why do you think those are your thoughts? You want to do something that's going to make you free, but so why would you tell yourself not to do it? Why do you think those are your thoughts?
Well, it's not that I'm telling myself not to do it. It's like, it's just like, I guess I'm just, it's doubt. It's like, if I do this, will it really help how I feel?
And who's telling you that?
The thoughts.
Why are you listening to the thought? They're not your own.
Because
all thoughts are all lies all the time.
I know, but I've heard you say that, and it's just, I still like I don't know why, but I still listen to them.
I know why.
Enlighten me.
You love your misery.
Yeah.
You love your hell.
I love my hell.
Yeah, you love the thrill that you get from, I'm afraid to go. I'm not going to forgive. It's not going to work. You love the thrill of even saying that and feeling that way. You got to stop loving thrills.
Right.
But you're not going to be able to stop until you see that that's what's going on and go and forgive. And then you start to see what's really going on inside of you. And it never has been. It's not you. It cannot be you because you're not your thoughts. You're not your thrills. You're not your feelings. You're not your body.
Then who am I?
That's what you'll find out. When the fake you disappear, the real you will appear.
Okay. Well, I guess there's nothing left to do but give it a try.
Absolutely. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Not consistently, Jesse.
Well, suffer or die. What the? What the?
Can't blame you for saying that.
Why don't you work on yourself? What is? Well, I already know. I know the answer to what I'm asking, but what is preventing you from working on yourself?
I think it's just, as you said, it's just being in my hell, lost in my thoughts. I've always struggled with consistency in the silent prayer, consistency in anything in life, exercise, eating well.
Every human being has the same problem. You're no different than all human beings. That's why all human beings, because they were born through the woman, they must be born of the Father. The ego must die in order to return to the Father. So when you go and forgive your mother, the light will turn on, and it will start to guide you, and it will destroy the not you. It will destroy the darkness, which is the ego. And the ego, the intellectuals, they hate God. The ego hate God. It's afraid of God. It hate God. It hate the light that's going to come on once you go and forgive.
So do you think I should go and forgive today, Jesse?
You should go when you're tired of living in hell.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So start doing the silent prayer. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. So you can just see those thoughts. All you have to do is just see them, and there's nothing else required. See them, see them, see them, and try not to escape from them, but see them, and seeing them, they will have to depart from you.
All right. Okay.
Let me know how it goes.
I will. Jesse, I have one before I go. I have one small thing to ask.
Okay.
It's just it's actually a suggestion for a guest on your show next time.
All right, hold that, and tell it to my producer.
I will, absolutely.
All right, hold on, buddy. Let me know how it goes once you deal with your mother and father, all right?
I will. I'll call you back, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Hold on and give that to my producer. When you have suggestions for the shows, you can send it to producer@JesseLeePeterson.com. Producer@JesseLeePeterson. Sean will look into it. Let me go to a first-time caller out of New York. Max, out of New York. Max, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
I don't feel no ways hard.
I feel like going on.
Jesse, I've been doing the silent prayer every night. I've forgiven my mother, and I was just wondering, how long will it take for the spirit of anger and the spirit of homosexuals to leave me?
Don't worry about that. Don't wonder about that. There's another thought. All you do is stay with the silent prayer. Have you forgiven your mother?
Yeah, I've forgiven my mother.
Okay. All you do is stay with the silent prayer and watch and stop calling those things you. Those are not you, and just watch it. Don't judge yourself. Drop all the opinions about yourself, and the light of the Father will destroy all false images that you have created unknowingly. You've identified with. You've never been those things, so stop identifying with them and do the silent prayer.
Okay. I also have a question about the silent prayer.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because I've been doing it every single night for the past 2 weeks, but in the morning it's really loud where I am. The neighbors are really loud. So I was wondering, is there a substitute for in the morning? Like, can I do it in my car?
What does the loud noise have to do with you doing the prayer?
Oh, because when I was watching the silent prayer video, you said try to get in as quiet of an area as possible.
Yeah, but let's say that the neighbors, there's loud noise outside. Just still sit and do the prayer and just be aware of the noise, because the noise is happening in the present. It's not, and so you will be in the present instead of in the so-called past or future.
Wow, yeah, that makes sense. All right.
So don't worry about the noise. Just be aware of the noise. You want to be aware of things, everything that's happening right now in the present, and not in the so-called future or the past. There's no such thing as the future or past. So you want to bring your mind back, perfect, to where your body is. So it's okay about the noise. And if you stay present and hear the noise, hear the cars going by, you won't be irritated, because you will not be in your thoughts. You'll be in the presence of love. You'll be in the presence of the kingdom of heaven. It'll be amazing. So that's fine about the noise.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Jesse.
And here's what I want you to do. When the thoughts bring on those urges or whatever feeling you get, don't say, and you are going to feel it in your body for a while, but don't say, that's me. I'm this. Don't call yourself that anymore, because death, spiritual death, is about dying away from false identities that you have called yourself, that you have taken on all your life. And when those false identities go, you will be free. It's going to be amazing for you.
So, for example, like, let's just say if there comes an urge to like masturbate. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on the air, but
well, you just said it.
But when that urge comes, so should I just do the silent prayer when it comes, or should I just like sit back and realize that it's happening, that the urge is here, the feeling is here?
Yeah, just realize that the urges are there and watch the urges, but don't call them you. Don't just watch them. And let's say it gets so bad because the ego is so used to doing that. Let's say it gets so heavy on you, you can't help it, right? You find yourself just doing it. Don't judge it. Just watch yourself. Watch that too. Be aware. And the awareness would take away the appetite. And don't have any opinion about it at all. Don't call it good. Don't call it bad. Don't call it right. Don't call it wrong. Don't call it you. You want it to die of all identity, and I promise you, man, it will be taken away from you. It really, really will, because it's not you. You get the thoughts, and then you get the feelings, and you're not your thoughts, and you're not the feelings. Stop calling yourself those things.
Amazing.
And don't judge yourself at all. Don't call yourself that. I'm telling you, Max, you will become the real you will appear when this fake you disappear. And you're not your thoughts, you're not your emotions. They're in your body, but they're not in you. They're not in the real you.
Wow, thank you, Jesse.
All ideas must die. And you want to live a life of no thinking, just logical thoughts about, what you're going to eat, what you want a house or whatever, right? But all ideas about yourself must die. There should be no self.
Amazing.
Amazing. Let me know how it goes, all right?
All right, I'll definitely call you back. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. It's going to be amazing. I wish you well, Max.
Thank you. You too.
All right, buddy. Amazing. It's not you. 888-7753. 773. There's a line open now if you want to jump in there. Let me go to Jim, our first time caller out of Illinois. Jim, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. God bless you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say how much I appreciate the awareness that you're bringing to people that might not be aware of the communist, thing that's happening to our country right now, and how you expose the people from Black Lives Matter. All of it's so important because it's you probably remember a gentleman named Eldridge Cleaver.
Yes, from the Black Panther.
Yes. He was totally subverted by communists in the early '60s. He was trained by communists to destroy the United States and to start a race war, like from within. And he really believed it. He had so much hatred in his heart, and all the crazy things that happened during that time. And then he had to flee the country because of the things that he was doing with the people that he was doing it with. And then he went to live in communist countries, and he saw how bad it was.
He went to Cuba or somewhere, right?
Yeah. He went to Cuba.
If I remember.
Yeah, but he pleaded to come back to the United States. He realized he made a grave mistake, and your producer, I can't mention the other fellow's name, but there was a thing called the 45 Communist Goals, of what's happening to our country right now.
Yeah, I remember that.
And and so that's been a plan. These communists that have been trying to destroy our country from within, that's been a plan since the early 60s, and it's taken this long, to unfold. And
but if the people were not afraid, if they didn't have fear, it wouldn't be happening. It's just that the people, because they're in a fallen state, and most have not overcome, they're not working on themselves, the fear is preventing them from dealing with this in all situations in the right way. Because whatever that guy was doing, it was happening to him and not anyone else, but the people are afraid. And so it's affecting their life as well. Anyone that has fear is evil, and you're working on behalf of evil. Even if you're a Christian and you have fear, Satan is still your God. You represent evil, even though in your intellectual mind, you pretend that you're working for God, but you're really worshiping evil. Fear is not of God. Perfect love casts out fear. But most people are unwilling to let go of their fear. They are unwilling to let go of their anger. This stuff does not have to be happening if the people were returned to good.
Right.
Which is God.
Right. But it's good that you're bringing awareness, because there are people actively trying to destroy our country.
Of course.
Like actively. Like just evil people. And that's what is all that anyway? Because
you just said it's evil. It's angry.
Yeah.
And they make up words like racism.
Yeah.
Sexism.
Well, I did some research on that, Jesse, and I found out that it was a psychological program that was created out of Frankfurt, Germany, called the Frankfurt School. And it was the original psychological weapon was called critical theory. And then what Black Lives Matter is and everything, that's an extension off of that main program.
Yeah.
That's critical race theory.
Absolutely.
But
it's
and
still
thank you for bringing awareness. But it is true. You're right. It is. What I love about you, Jesse, is that you're offering the solution to all of this, to what's happening.
Yeah.
Because the awareness is one thing, and a lot of your videos you expose that and awareness. But what truly the message that you're giving every day, and I appreciate you for this, and God bless you for it, is that you have to return back to the Father.
Absolutely.
You have to let go of that fear, because that's what those people thrive on. And at the core of what they're really doing is hatred. They hate themselves. They hate this life. I hate everybody. And then, God's the only way back. It really is, because, we're only here for a little bit.
Have you given up your anger?
Well, that's on a daily basis. My life, I take it one day at a time, and I try to live in the moment. I try not to dwell in the past. I try to focus on what's happening to me today, right now, because that's all I got.
Have you given up your anger?
Today, yes, I have no anger.
Have you given up your anger?
Yes, Jesse, I have given up my anger.
You went and forgave your mother?
Oh, I love my mother. She did her best, and
have you forgiven her?
Do I need to forgive her? I mean, she gives me nothing but love my whole life, and she's the one who led me to the Lord. So that's.
Have you forgiven your mother?
I don't need to forgive my mother for anything. I love her so much.
Have you loved her? You will forgive her.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, of course. I forgive her.
Did you tell her that?
With sin. We're all born with sin, right, Jesse? We're all born with sin.
Did you tell your mother you've forgiven her?
Well, she passed away 2 years ago from dementia. So.
Oh, I see.
But. Yes, but that's okay.
Because the anger that you have came from your mother.
Really? Yeah.
100%. Your mother was not good. She was evil.
And you know what? I do believe that with women now, especially.
But you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. Back in a moment. To control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married, and the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good, or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Get It Off Your Chest Friday, the 2nd of February, AD 2024. Happy Groundhog Day, everybody. There is one line open. You can call in right now during Hake News, Not Fake News, and JLP will be right back for hour 2. Feminism has gone mask off. Younger people see the insanity firsthand. The far-left female-run outlet The Skim reports they speculate, who might have felt personally attacked by the Barbie movie. So they imagine the Gen Z boys and men. Yesterday, new data showed that the Generation Z boys and men, or at least underage young men and overage young men, are more likely than older baby boomers, suckers, to think that feminism has caused more harm than good. Wow. Researchers polled about 3,700 people in the United Kingdom and found that 35% of men between the ages of 16 and 29 think it's more difficult to be a man than a woman. 1/5 also, it's an odd question, by the way, 1/5 also had a positive opinion on the self-proclaimed misogynist, according to the ladies at the Skim. I didn't know that. Andrew Tate. You may have heard of him, who's been in the news. He has more than 8 million followers on X. Among those more likely to follow Tate are people from ethnic minorities, so-called, non-whites, with more than 1/3 agreeing he raises important points about real threats to male identity and gender roles. Duh. It's interesting that they call them ethnic minorities. I think that whites are a worldwide minority. Anyway, gun violence, no such thing. Here in America, Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports the parents of a Michigan school shooter, mass murderer, young man, are on trial for manslaughter in separate cases that will test whether they should be held responsible for the crimes of their child. Not because they raised him poorly, but because they left the gun available for him to get somehow or something like that. Jennifer Crumbley, Crumbley, the mother of the teenager, Ethan Crumbley, who in 2021 killed 4 people at his high school in Oxford, Michigan. She took the stand in her trial on Thursday, yesterday, testified it was her husband's responsibility to restore their son's gun safely, throwing her husband under the bus. These evil laws dividing wife from husband, so evil. However, the prosecution argued she's responsible for the deaths because she was grossly negligent in getting a gun for her son and failing to get him proper so-called mental health treatment, which is a communist buzzword, despite the warning signs, right? The defense has argued that the blame lay elsewhere on the husband for purchasing the firearm, on the school for failing to notify her about her son's behavioral issues, and on the murderer himself, Ethan Crumbley. The gun male, this communist anti-gun propaganda, is currently serving a life sentence in prison without parole. What a mess. The United Nations is full of evil, spoiling mama shenanigans, so alleges Israel. The main United Nations relief agency, UNRWA, UNRWA, United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Palestine refugees in the Near East, established in 1949, 74 years ago, to baby these people for generations, according to CNN, I believe. Something like that. Maybe the latest. Yeah, CNN. They are over in Gaza. They're likely to be forced to shut down operations by the end of February, if funding from nearly 20 countries remains suspended. They're getting subsidized, and it's a mess. And they're subsidizing other people's lives. Several countries decided to halt their funding after Israel accused the agency's staffers, 13 of them out of the 1,300, of involvement in the October 7th attacks. You heard about this over the past few days, I think. The moves have raised questions about the fate of nearly 6 million refugees, so-called, that the relief agency serves. And more mess for the next hour, but I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show today. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773-888-77 Jesse. Who was I talking to from Illinois?
It was...
Oh, Jim. Jim, I accidentally hung up on you, man, because we had a quick out I didn't hear. You can call me back if you like. 888-77 Jesse. My biblical question for this week. Are you afraid you're not going to make it? Are you afraid you're not going to make it? Amazing, amazing question. Are you afraid you're not going to make it? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on Jesse Lee
Tom like a mug. You need to go to
.com, JesseLeePeterson.com. And if you're busy doing whatever you're doing, anywhere around the world, and for the flat earthers up and down the world, but Hake has on a shirt today that proves that the earth is round. Obvious globe. He pointed to the globe. You pointed to the globe, right?
Yep. Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
Amazing. And so that's your proof that the earth is round and not flat. I rest my case.
Yeah.
And you can get that shirt on HateReport.com.
That's right.
And you'll see, it's a nice shirt. I like the picture too.
Cool.
And it'll show that the earth is round and then subject is over. Discussion over.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so if you're out and about, and you can podcast the show, but you could be listening while you're doing whatever it is you're doing, right? By calling the listen line on at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And follow us on social media. Ring the bell, like, subscribe, and all that. JLP Talk on X. JLP Talk on X. And Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. And to donate and have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. And rebuildingtheman.com or rebuildingtheman.com. All right, I do appreciate it. It's Friday. It's Get It Off Your Chest Day. Every Friday is whatever is on your mind. Express yourself Friday. Any day now.
You Tom like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached.
What's that?
Because everything you say about black people and you.
Let's stop it. I'll go to the phones while they're working on that. Then we got to do some super chats as well. Let me go to a first-time caller, Dana, out of New York. Dana, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling, Dana.
So I guess my question is...
Speak up a little bit for me.
Okay. Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. When I have to forgive my father, do I have to go to him and speak to him, to like actually have that like exchange of forgiveness, or can I just like do it, you know, within myself, or like, you know what I mean?
If you have any anger towards someone, especially your parents, your mother, your father, go and forgive them. You got to face them.
Right.
So yes, you got to go to him.
Right. It's you know, it's difficult.
Why?
Because he's like very abusive. So it's, I don't know what, like, I'm not saying I don't think it would like help, but, and he's like very ignorant. So I don't know if it, like, I understand it's for me. Like, I get that. Like, you know, and he doesn't have to say anything or do anything. It's just very difficult to talk to him.
How old are you?
42.
Really? And how is he abusive at 42?
I mean, I guess more from like when I was a kid, but I mean, even just like, you know, just even, you know, we're very like close, like, you know what I mean? And I know that that's not good for me, but I guess.
You say you're very close?
Well, yeah, like, you know, like my family, like, we're all in each other's lives, we're all in each other's business, like, you know what I mean? It's like.
But your family are not close, and if you're afraid to you're afraid to go and forgive your mother, your family, you and your family are not close.
Right. Well, my mom, it's like.
I mean, your
that
father.
Right. My mom is something that like I work on all the time. Like, you know, she knows how I feel about everything. She, you know, when I talk to her, you know.
You forgave her?
Yeah.
What did you say to her? What did you say to her when you forgave her?
You know, like, I forgive you for being angry all the time and being a drug addict and an alcoholic, and, you know.
And so why can't you do that with your father?
I'm not sure. Because he was like physically abusive, so I don't know if that he was physically abusive to me, and so was my brother. So, like, any relationship with a man that I had, even, you know, from a child, it's been terrible, you know. And I have 2 children. You know, I'm not married to their dad. He's not involved with us. Not, you know, not because of me. I guess it's because of me, right? I'm terrible.
You have 2 children, and you're not married to him, and he's not involved?
No.
Does he want to be involved with his kids?
I don't think so. I mean, because I leave it open. I never, you know, I never took him for anything, and we kind of just had like a sexual relationship for a very long time.
Oh, I see.
And,
okay.
You know, he has children with other women also.
Oh, okay.
He's always been with like multiple women. It's not that we were like together, committed to each other.
Right. And
but
so
we lived together. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Finish your point.
Well, we lived together, and it was my you know, it was my house, and he moved in with us. And when me and the girls went like on vacation or something, whatever, he would bring women to the house. So I asked him to leave.
Good. Why would you?
Right.
Don't let a man live in your house if he doesn't provide a house for you. No house.
Right. No, I get that.
No
I mean,
house, no nookie.
Right. I mean, I don't even think about that anymore. I kind of like get like repulsed about like not repulsed about sex, but like about lust and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it now. Like, you know, after like, you know, just like how I damaged myself from trying to like I know I wanted like my father's love, so I looked for it. Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's what you're yearning for. It's the love of your father.
Yeah, and I absolutely like destroyed myself. You know, like just terrible.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, I understand I have to forgive myself and all that. Like, I get it. But I guess I'm more concerned with my children.
And you're concerned about your children?
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I
In
know
what
that
way?
it confuses, like, I know it confuses them. Like, because their dad was here and now he's not.
How old are they?
I know, my oldest is 13 and 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do they ask about their father?
The older one does sometimes. She just says, like, when do you think I'm going to see him again? But it's, like, very rare, like, and I'm pleasant with him when he'll email us, like, and stuff. Like, it's not, and his sister talks to us all the time, but he doesn't. And when he talks to me, it's not that he's talking to me, it's like he just says things like, oh, happy birthday, or, it's not anything, like he's not talking with me,
right,
or communicating with me. He's just like saying things to me.
I understand.
And I feel like if I say, well, you could come see the girls, whatever, like whatever the case may be, it's always been open, and he's never provided for them ever. Like, he's never put $1 in my hand for them or to them.
Amazing.
Right. It's embarrassing, like, to say it, but
I understand.
But
what I want you to know, you have never been abused.
Right.
Your father or no one has ever abused you.
Right.
When you say right, what do you mean?
Like, I get it, right? Like, I mean, it's not, I don't know. Not that I don't get it, like, because, like, I'm not an object, like, so if somebody's taking their anger out on me, it's, like, not about me.
Right.
Right.
And so the pain you feel, this thing that making you cry right now is not you either. It's just that you have been thinking that it was you, so you've identified with it. But you got to face your father and forgive him.
Yeah. I mean, I do. I like, for maybe, like, the past, like, 10 years, because my life, like, changed so much.
Yeah.
I have been different, like, I know that. But,
what do you think would happen if you went and forgave him?
Yeah. I mean, I know I would be better. I know I would be better. Like,
so why have you done it then?
Lost.
Why have you done it?
I don't know. I just can't get to. I don't know. It's like when somebody like, like if you're sitting at a dinner table, right, with your family, you're having dinner, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to eat what's there. And you're saying, I don't want to eat this. I don't like this. I don't want it. And then, like, you get hit in the head for not wanting to, being forced to do something you don't want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not like hit, like, just like a little tap or something. I mean, like hit by a man. It's not, I don't know how to get over it. And my brother too, like, just very physically abusive, like, just punching me like, nothing,
Well, you got to go and forgive them so you can be free.
Right.
And because there's never, ever, 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 ever a reason to be angry. I don't care what happened to your physical body.
Right.
There's never a reason to be angry.
Right.
Anger is evil.
This is anger that I'm feeling? I mean, is it anger that I'm feeling?
100%.
Right. Like what is it? Like, I want, like, I mean, is it like a revenge type of thing? Like, I'm not sure. Like,
well, no, it's just that you love it. You love feeling that way.
Right.
You love complaining about it. You love thinking about it. It's your thrill.
Yeah.
You love the thrill of it, and until you stop loving the thrill of it, you're not going to overcome it. When you say, when you see, I'm tired of feeling this way, I'm tired of these thoughts, I'm tired of the loneliness, I'm tired of the fear, then you stop loving it and you start to overcome it.
Right. And I do the same thing with my girl's dad. Like, I go over everything.
Yeah.
And, like, I play, like, these little things in my head, like, I should have said this when this happened. Or,
right.
But really, I mean, I was wrong anyway for, being involved with the situation to begin with. Like, I get
Absolutely.
that. You know what I mean? I'm not like, it's all his fault or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't see it like that.
But
because I wasn't right anyway.
If you want to overcome your thrills, you got to die from them. And so you got to go and face your father.
Yeah, I know. It's so different. I don't know. It's tough.
But it's not tough. It's only tough. It's only tough because you're in your thoughts and emotions about it.
Yeah.
You're worshiping the devil.
Right. Yeah. I don't like him, so it's difficult to go to someone you don't like, right? I mean, I don't know.
No, it's just that you are listening to the devil and you love the idea of not going, but pretending you want to go and not going. You're too into your thrills.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Because
Like
you know
gambling,
the
like,
way out is that you got to forgive your father, your mother, but you're
Right.
not taking it because you like your condition.
Right, right, and it's so long, right? And it's like to change because like I'm so lost, like right? It's like oh, I have to go here, I have to do this. If I lose weight, I'll be happy, or if I, learn this, I'll be happy. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm just like in circles, like and nothing's ever like getting me, to where I feel like I could be. Like like you see it, but you like how you say like you don't know it.
Right, absolutely. And so, are you doing the silent prayer?
No, I haven't.
You know about it?
Yeah, I looked it up when I hear you mention it.
Why haven't you given it a try?
I'm not really sure. I don't really have an answer. Just,
See, I told you love your hell.
Yeah. yeah. Yeah.
The last thing you want to let go of is your hell. You love your
Right.
thrills.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're absolutely right. It's like I get it. I get what you're saying, but I don't know it, so I don't know. It's like I see it, but I just don't know. I don't even know how I would approach the situation.
You will
I mean,
go
I
over
guess I
to
could think-
him. You will
Yeah.
say, Dad or Father, whatever you call him, I have been resenting you all my life because
Yeah.
you were quote unquote abusive to me. But I realize now you couldn't help yourself because your father hate his mother as well. He hate your
Yes,
mother.
yes.
He hate
yeah.
his mother.
Yeah.
And he hate himself. And that's why he
Right.
was treating you that way.
Absolutely, I get that, and and I get it. Even on my mom's, like I get it how, what it was like for her parents and growing up, and
Yes.
I get all that, but it's like right, just even having communication and with him is like it just feels so difficult.
But that will all change once you forgive.
Right, right, and also with my children's father, can you give me advice on how to also stop that that back and forth with him inside of me or
Well, once you forgive your father, you start doing the
Right.
silent prayer. You forgive your mother, you forgive your father. You're going to
Yeah.
come out of those thoughts about your children's father and the
Right.
conversation we're in, and you
Yeah.
won't hold anything against him. And if you want to come see them, fine. If he doesn't, fine. But
Right.
because you're working on yourself, the light of God, which is nothing but love, will bring you out of that situation too. It will work itself out.
Yeah, I believe I do. I believe that, and it's just can you help me understand it's from a man's perspective, when men don't I just don't understand how he doesn't want to have a relationship with them. Is it because of me? Is it because of me?
No, it's because unless you're deliberately trying to keep him away from them.
No. I would never do that to them.
But other
To them,
than
I
that,
would.
it has nothing to do with you. It's him.
Right.
And you're not responsible at all for his action, and you're not stuck just because he doesn't do anything. I'm telling you, I promise you, if you work on you,
Yeah.
if you do the silent prayer, forgive your father and your mother, watch those thoughts, the love of God, because his love is amazing, it will save you and it will change your life.
Right. I mean, my girls, they tell me that they feel that I guess I speak to them as openly and truthfully as I can, and I know that they're confused about it, but they tell me that they feel like I'm like their mother, and that I've been consistent with them, and they feel cared for and attended to. So is that the right thing? I mean, is it
But once you forgive, you got to be guided by love, and that love will be passed down to the children, and they'll be fine. And when they do ask us about their father, just let them know your father loves you. It's just that he got to work on himself. He just not able to be here right now, but he loves you. Don't be angry at him.
Right. That's right. That's exactly what I say, and they say that also. I don't hate him. I just don't know him.
Right.
That's really what they say.
Absolutely. That's all you need to do. In the meantime, work on you so you can overcome evil with good.
Yes. Yeah.
All right?
Well, thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
So here's what I
All right.
recommend. You do the silent prayer. You go and forgive your father. And even if you have to FaceTime with him, you want to be looking at him when you, if possible. If not, if you have no other choice, you can do it by phone. But you want to be looking at him so you can shake in your boots and overcome fear.
Right, right. And what if I get like emotional? Like, is that like? I mean,
That's
not
fine.
That is it okay?
It's
right.
fine. Don't control anything. If you
Right.
start boo-hooing, and snot is running out your nose, you still forgive. Just let that happen. Don't judge it. Don't judge yourself, and forgive. I'm sorry, Dad, for resenting you.
Yeah. My whole life. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I see it now. It's like, oh my, I never wanted to be home. I was always out. I was always with like other people. Like it's terrible. But
Well,
how
once
did
you
he feel
forgive
about it?
him,
Yeah.
it's gonna it's gonna be as though you never had a past or a future. All you will have is right now. You will have a new life.
Yeah, but like from a man's perspective, like how is he like viewing the situation? Like he just hates us.
No, he hate everything. He hate his mother. He hate himself. He hate everything. But don't worry about him.
Right. Yeah.
You just work on you and let him stay in his hell, because most people love their hell and they don't want to be told you can come out of it. They want to live in it, and then they'll drag everybody else in their hell with them if you don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So don't worry about him at all, what he's feeling or what he's thinking, because once you understand what's driving you, you're going to clearly understand what's driving everybody else in the whole world.
Yeah.
You will have understanding, and understanding is love.
And that's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
Basically, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it is what I'm trying to, like, get to. And everything that I thought was, like, love before, like, you know, from today, you know, before, like, what is that I'm feeling?
It was all hate.
Right.
You have nothing but hate, anger.
Yeah.
And that emotion that you felt that felt like love is not love, it's hate. And the emotion you have that felt bad is not bad, it's hate. It's just all hate. Your heart is wicked right now.
Yeah. And even with my even with my children, I hate them.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will change if you go and forgive, so you can overcome the fallen state. You can overcome thoughts and emotions.
Right. And do you think that like drugs and alcohol like keep, you know, like do they like contribute to like how people treat other people? Like, I mean, is that like a big thing? Or
well, people when we are in a fallen state, we use drug, alcohol, sex, fear, food, judging others, revenge, and all that to try to make ourselves feel better.
Yeah.
But once you start overcoming that, trying to make yourself feel better, those things will fall away because you won't need them anymore. You will have perfect peace.
Right. Because my mom is like kind of struggling with alcohol and...
Yeah, she hate her mama, so she has no peace.
Yeah.
And she hate her father, she hate your father, she hate everything.
Yeah. And, you know, we talk about it a lot, and she hasn't drank for like, I think it's going to be like almost 2 months now.
Well, tell her she needs to go and forgive her mother and her father.
Yeah, I know. We talk about that. And
what does she say when you tell her she needs to go and forgive her mother?
She's like, she's not against it. Like, she doesn't have as much anger as she did. Like
a little
before.
anger is much.
Yeah.
Anger is
but it
anger
doesn't
is
feel like
anger.
Right. It just doesn't. It seems like she wants to. Like it's almost like the same way that I feel now.
The people in hell want ice water too. It's not wanting it; it's going and doing it. You got to do it.
Yeah. Right, and it's so easy to do other things like like smoke a cigarette or drink a drink and eat. It's so easy to do those things, but to actually go and do something that's good and good for you and is going to help you, it's like so difficult. I mean,
It's only difficult because you won't do it. Once you do it, it would never be difficult again.
Well, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you. You know.
So, Dana, you got work to do.
I do. And I feel like I work so hard, but I'm so hard on myself, and it's like I'm doing nothing. Is that is that true?
Uh-huh.
It's true.
Once
Beating myself up.
That's right. Once you go and forgive, you'll just become the watcher of those thoughts and emotions, and the watcher will solve the problem for you. The one that allows you to see that, which is the Father inside of you, he will get rid of the darkness.
Yeah.
But you got to do the prayer, relax and let go, and go and forgive your earthly father. And don't tell your mother if she doesn't work on herself, you don't want to hear about her problems anymore either. You're not, because she loved complaining about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Could you say that like not that it's not my dad's fault or anything, but I mean, if you're saying that she's never been good, right? Because women aren't.
Well, she as a child, she had a good nature, but when your mother traumatized her, her nature switched from good to evil.
Right. Well, she left home when she was like 12 or 13.
If I had a mother like her, I would have left at 10.
Yeah. But my mom's mom, you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she had like 6 brothers and sisters. They're like all like all drugs and stuff. My grandfather was in jail for a bit. Like they were
What a
kicked
mess.
out of their house. Yeah, it was terrible. So I mean, like I can understand but she didn't get into like drugs and alcohol till she was much older. So even like I don't know. I'm just saying like does
Dana,
my dad
listen.
contribute?
I got to run, but let me tell you this.
Sure.
Take your eyes off your mother. Let her live in her hell. She could die in her hell. You're not your brother's.
Why do you say that like that?
You're not your brother's keeper, and just work on Dana, so that you can overcome evil, and love will be passed down to the children. The Father will guide you. He will cause your situations to end, and you'll be fine. But you forget about your mama and all that. Don't leave them in their hell. That's their. You notice how God leave people in their hell until they're ready to come out. Just leave it in hell. It has nothing to do with you, and you move on with your life.
Yeah. Can I just ask you about your biblical question of the week? I think it was.
Are you afraid you're not going to make it?
Yeah, make it where? Make it what? What?
That's the question.
Right.
Are you afraid you're not going to make it?
Make it what? Like that's what I mean. Like, what do you mean?
That's the question. I can't put my 2 cents in until Sunday.
Until Sunday?
Yeah. Do you watch our fellowship on Sundays?
No, but I will. I mean, I just watch whatever you put on YouTube. But
okay, go to rebuildingtheman.com/church.
Okay.
You're gonna hear men and women of all races.
Yeah.
With the same issues you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And so we have 3 channels. We got Bond, Jesse Lee Peterson, and the Fallen State .tv. So you can go to, Bond, B-O-N-D? You can go to B-O-N-D, like James Bond, but just Bond, and you'll see the fellowship there as well.
James Bond. Yeah. Oh, is that when you're sitting in the stool on the stage?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I caught a few of those. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
So work on yourself. Let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you.
All right.
Fine. Thank you.
Take care. I got to take a quick break. When I come back, more of your calls. One line open, 888-77-53773. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Georgia on my mind. Open eyes. 888-775-3773. Couple quick announcements. Number one, the Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning. The Hake, H-A-K-E report.com from 9 to 11 Pacific time. And the guy with the good hair. And today, I want all of you flat earthers all around the world, old, young, every color, to make sure you watch the Hake report at 9 a.m. Pacific time, from 9 to 11. He has absolute proof that the earth is round. And he has it, and you don't want to miss it. And then you can relax about the earth being flat. Some of my good friends believe the earth is flat. I was surprised. Even my producer believed the earth is flat. I was surprised by that. I never imagined that a guy that go hunting, golfing, fishing, and white would believe that the earth was flat. I'm like, what the? It's like the folks thinking that I have an afro when I have it an Amerifro, not an afro. I was stunned. And he said, I don't believe it. I know it. Ooh. Once you go flat, you can't go back. Amazing. But anyway, check out the Hake report today. He got proof. And he's wearing it on his chest. He's speaking from the chest that the earth is round. All right? And then at 12 noon, today is Friday, at 12 noon, brand new episode of thefatherstate.tv. Thefatherstate.tv. Amazing conversation with Dr. Theo Kusuli. He is a Greek Orthodox Christian hypnotherapist, chiropractor, and healer. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You hypnotize people? I guide them into a relaxed state. If people understood that they were children of God, they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. Jesse, I've been through 2 open heart surgeries. They fixed me with a valve from a cow.
Wow.
I still eat beef.
All thoughts.
All thoughts.
All lies.
Are all lies.
All the time.
All the time. No. Jesse, who hurt you?
What's wrong with the black?
I knew you were going to ask me this question.
Amazing. At 12 noon Pacific time. All right, you don't want to miss it. It's amazing. And you can support the fatherstate.tv by going there, fatherstate.tv/donate, or on locals.com. And at 4 p.m., are you doing it for? At 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. Energy on loan or given to him by God. The American Anchor Baby flying high. And everybody that works on that plane is qualified. He has no blacks working for him on the plane. It's all white males. And then white female stewardesses.
Not exactly true.
What?
Not exactly true.
Oh, he has them colored?
Yeah. He has Sion, Ivana.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Other people.
What? They're working for you?
Yeah, but some of my black stewardesses don't like working.
True.
So I leave them alone.
Do you have all white or do you have mixed pilots too?
The folks have a mixed pilot, I think.
What about the air marshals?
Oh yeah, we have a white air marshal.
Don't we have a
But
black
we also
air
have a
marshal?
black air marshal.
Yeah.
Is he qualified?
You know what? I think the black air marshal's qualified and the white air marshal's not.
That's a, what do you call it? DD?
I think the
DDI?
black air marshal was in the military.
Right.
Amazing. What a mess. I take it all back. But anyway, the American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m., all right? And don't forget to support us. Go to rebuildingtheman.com, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND. We are a nonprofit, right? The organization is Bond. 800-411-BOND. I appreciate it. Help us to help others. You're being helped. I shouldn't have to say that. Look like you're like, you know what, this man really point me back to the Father. I'm being helped. I'm going to help him help others. And thank you for those who are helping and those who are about to help. Super Chat.
Super chats. We have a lot from yesterday as well.
Nice.
Anna bought 3 coffees with one N, Anna, or Anna. Jesse, I have listened to your show for a few months now, and I hate to admit, but you are right. My mother is a highly educated woman, and I had always thought she was right when she called me stupid because I didn't want to go to college. So I had listened to her and attended a college in California later in life until I realized that the professors, 90% females, were nasty and mean. Just like my mother. I call them professional bullies.
Yeah.
I quit college a few years later and never regretted it. Now I work 2 jobs for a minimum wage, and I'm at peace.
Right on.
I can even afford purchasing an acre of 2 of land outside of California and leave this insane Los Angeles area.
Right on. That is amazing. I wish you well. And you did the right thing by dropping out. It's a waste of time, waste of money, and all it does is build the intellect. Congratulations. Thank you.
Soul Conscious bought 5 coffees. Jesse, quote, does your wife obey you? Or, quote, do you love white people? Are the hardest questions for most people to answer. Why is that? Very simple questions, but long answers. Also, the preacher is all beta, scared and afraid. No wonder why Christianity is dying. I think that's a reference to yesterday's guest.
Oh, yeah. Amazing.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Soul Conscious.
Yeah.
White Lion bought a couple of different coffees. Hey, Jesse, I must say that starting in December, I have realized that the earth is flat based on the Masonic Lodge design and the firmament mentioned throughout the Bible.
Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but Hake has proof that it's round. Look at that. It doesn't get any simpler or better than that. If you can't believe that, then I can't convince you.
Obvious globe. It's a picture of me on my shirt, and it's labeled Obvious Globe. Boom. And you see the flat horizon.
I see the horizon.
Yeah, see the horizon? Crisp and clear. Ball.
And then so you can get that shirt. That way you have it around you at all times. And it will remind you until that the earth is round. All right? But thank you. Go to hate.com.
TheHakeReport.com.
TheHakeReport.com and get the shirt. It's nice.
Thank you. White Lion
Thank
NYC.
you.
White Lion says, hey, everyone, check out the Hake report. Yes, it stunk before, but it's great now.
TheHakeReport.com. Thank you.
White Lion also says, hey, Jesse, I want to learn about Jesus' relationship with his mother Mary, stepfather Joseph, his wife Mary Magdalene, and his daughter Sarah. Did his mother Mary give him hell?
What do you mean his wife?
It sounds like a lot of slander. Libel. He's libeling Jesus.
Is he joking around?
He might be.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Top contributors on D Live yesterday, Maverick Angel or something, Stan69, and Adult Human Male. Thank you guys for the support.
Appreciate it.
Gregatron bought a coffee. This one is for Hassan. Hey, Hassan, can you show JLP the Kanye West song? Amazing. I'm sure he would love it. It's an amazing song. He says amazing multiple times. JLP could have written that song.
That's his gospel song?
I don't know.
That's his gospel song?
No, that's actually pre-gospel.
Oh, okay.
That is an amazing song.
I'll check it out. Thank you.
Well, Gregatron put JLP could have wrote that song. But
okay.
it's, of course, JLP could have written that song.
Is Gregatron black?
Yeah.
I'll rest my case.
Nice. Amazing.
It's Joel Friday TV from Arkansas.
No. He's from Shreveport,
I couldn't believe that boy said Shreveport at Arkansas instead of Arkansas.
And he fought you over it.
I know it.
He's like, well, they spelled it Arkansas, Arkansas. That's how the world spells it, buddy.
I'm like, Joel, they spell it like that all around the world. Well, that's okay. He's tender.
Yeah.
With it?
Gentle.
Gentle. He's gentle.
Amazing Asia bought coffee. These dog owners have such a mama spirit.
He said your mother.
Yep.
Amazing.
These dog owners have such a mama spirit, dressing them up, letting them sleep in their beds, giving them treats when they listen, just like a mama. What a mess.
I totally understand it. The thing about it, they think that the dog is feeling what they're feeling, and the dog feels nothing. Zero. And now there are people who are saying the dog can be traumatized, depressed, and all that.
Amazing.
You know you got to be crazy.
Thank you, Amazing
thank
Asia.
You. Yeah, thank you.
Priscilla from Houston bought a coffee. Jesse, you are wrong about one thing for sure. Dogs do love people.
No, they don't. I guarantee you.
Hassan's cheering that one.
Right. Ain't found a witness. Can I get a witness? Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Chris V bought 2 coffees. Hey, Jesse, what's the most alpha car a man can drive? I feel like my car is borderline beta. I drive a Subaru, and according to stereotypes, they're often driven by lesbians. At least it's not an electric vehicle.
I don't know. It's hard to find them. When I go up and down the road, all I see are beta cars, and they all the same color. I'm like, what the? But I don't know nowadays. Maybe an army tank. How about an army tank? Amazing. Thank you.
Matthew bought 5 coffees. Hi, Jesse. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Or thank you for what you do. Al is a new member on Buy Me a Coffee, monthly supporter. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Amazing.
He says, thank you, Jesse.
Right
Greenwall bought a coffee. The tree of enlightenment grows on the mountain of egolessness.
Amazing. Thank you.
Ralph bought 10 coffees. This is buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. The Great Black Hope. Love you, Jesse and crew. Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you, Ralph. Amazing.
Urinal Chills is a monthly supporter on rumble.com/JC Lee Peterson. Y'all, Tom like a mug. You need to go to get yourself bleached.
You got to know how to rumble. Thank you. James, hold that.
Okie dokie.
Remember, I got to get you some calls.
Sounds good.
888-7753-773. Let me go to David, a first-time caller out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. David, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, I am a new listener. I've been listening to you for a few months, so I just want to say thank you for your show At first, I thought you were just a provocateur in the political space, but now I see that you have deeply held beliefs that are starting to make more and more sense to me.
Right on.
I am a follower of Christ. I feel like I have peace, perfect peace. My mother raised us as a single parent because my father left when we were just really young, and I never had a relationship with him. I didn't feel like I had hate toward him. I just did not have a relationship. He, about 5 years ago, committed a murder near Atlanta and now is in prison in South Georgia, and of course has since tried to reach out to me and my brother. So my question for you is, how does your teaching apply in my situation? I don't feel like I have a great relationship with my mother, and like I said, I have no feelings toward my father. Should I make an attempt to go visit him and forgive him?
100%. 100%. Why haven't you responded if you have no anger toward him?
Well, he hasn't reached out to me through my whole life.
Oh, I thought you said he did reach out to you and your brother.
Oh, no.
Oh.
No, he didn't.
Oh, you said he hasn't. Yeah. Are you able to go where he is locked up and forgive him?
I could if I need to. That's where I'm confused. I don't know if I need to do that.
How do you feel about him?
Just as I feel about you or any other man that I just don't have a relationship with.
Oh, I see. But you don't resent him?
No, not at all.
Oh, nice.
I don't know him.
Well, is there something like missing inside of you, like something is missing, even though you may have all the material things that you want, something's still missing?
I don't feel like it.
Okay.
As I said, when I was a senior in high school, I placed my faith in Christ. I believed the gospel, and I feel like I've had peace at a very primal level ever since then.
Right.
But your teaching, which is new to me again, it has caused me to ponder and question the reality of my perfect peace, and so I just wanted to call and see what your thoughts were, if there was just simply no relationship there.
I want to encourage you to pay attention to see if you resent him or you're yearning for him. And if you are and you can forgive him for not being there, go and forgive him. Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes.
And you told her that?
I did tell her that recently, actually.
What did you say to her?
Well, we go to lunch every Thursday, and so I just told her just a few days ago, actually. I, kind of told her about your show and about some of your beliefs, and I just told her that I forgave her for turning me away from my earthly father, and I believe that that's important based upon what you've been explaining. And she has early signs of early onset dementia, but she is still cognitive. She can communicate. She's a very stoic woman. She does not show emotion, does not communicate much, just doesn't express herself. And so she, nodded and said that she understood. And, I just don't know how much of it she gets these days, but I did express forgiveness to her.
Good. Well, it doesn't matter whether she received it or understood it or not. As long as you forgave her, God will forgive you. And the reason, if you don't resent your father, you'll be fine. Because most adults and young children don't resent their father. They're yearning for the father. That little void that you have, like something is not quite, like something's still missing a little bit, is a yearning for the father. Why don't you go and do what you want, of course. Let me just, how far is he away from you? Let's say you want to drive to wherever his prison is located. How long would it take you to drive there?
Maybe 4 hours.
Oh, I see. But if ever a chance comes and you just have nothing to do, I highly recommend you go visit with him and have a talk with him, see why he left, and see what's going on with him. It will not hurt. It'll help. It will not hurt.
Okay. Sounds good, Jesse. Thank you so much.
Okay. Are you doing the silent prayer?
I'm trying to understand that. I've not been able to find a video yet where you give explanation to the importance of the silent prayer. Is there something about vocally, even if quietly, but vocally praying? I don't understand that part.
Yeah, when you can go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. slash prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer, and it's there. But when you pray silently by just watching those thoughts, you allow the Spirit to pray on your behalf, because you don't know what you want, you don't know what you need, you don't know what to ask for. And when you're praying out loud like that, you're praying to the devil and not to God.
Wow. Okay, that sounds good. I'll need to go do some work on that.
Yeah, it's all vanity when you're doing it, because you don't know what to pray for. And if you don't know what to pray for, how is it possible to pray out loud like that? We don't even know anything, but we have the Spirit in us. And when we let go of all ideas about what we think we want, what we need, and all that mess, then your life would start to happen on its own, and it would be amazing. It's already laid out for you. All you have to do is live it. There's nothing else required.
How do you, I'm certain you've had a conversation, how do you respond to people who would say, where Jesus was teaching his disciples how to pray, and he gives that Lord's Prayer that people refer to so often? How do you reconcile the two?
Well, the silent prayer is the Lord's Prayer. You're letting God's will be done. You're forgiving others as he is forgiving you. You are letting go and letting it happen. It is the Lord's Prayer. You recognize him as your God instead of the imagination where Satan dwells.
Perfect. Okay.
You're letting go and letting God take, and he will. I promise you, man, it's going to be amazing. He would take completely over. He would take you away from the old nature, which is of the devil, and he would give you his nature that you had before you were traumatized by your mother, and it would be his nature, and you would just live in his nature. And his nature is all love, all light, all everything. Amazing.
Amazing.
So
one last question for me, Jesse. So, of course, that as a Christian since I was younger, it seems as though the predominant teaching of the church, the mainline church, would be something akin to working toward, killing off the old nature, like, creating self-discipline and practicing righteous habits, whether it's prayer or studying the Bible, going to church, fellowship.
Hold up, everybody. Hold on. Don't hang up. Let me take a quick break. One more hour to go. Back in a moment. Hake coming in with hate news, not the fake news. Hold on, David. I'll be back in a moment. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. Freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought, because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It's Express Yourself Friday, the 2nd of February, AD 2024. The lines are full, guys. JLP will be right back to your calls. Hang tight, callers. But first, Hake news, not fake news. After the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, we will have the HakeReport.com. Joel Friday is not live today. He is live Monday through Thursday right after Hake. But you can catch American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. At noon today, we have TheFallenState.tv. And, of course, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson on Sunday on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. Check it out. RebuildingTheMan.com/church. Israeli shenanigans. Biden acting tough and kissing up. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports that the U.S. establishment has announced the first round of sanctions under crooked Joe Biden's new executive order targeting specific allegedly violent Israeli settlers in the West Bank. The new sanctions block the settlers, these specific settlers, 4 of them, financial assets and bar them from coming into the United States. They target 4 Israeli nationals accused of initiating and leading a riot, setting buildings and fields and vehicles on fire, and assaulting civilians and damaging property. Well, sounds fair, I guess. I don't know. It's Groundhog Day. Today's Groundhog Day. Legend has it that if, I don't know how to say this name, Punxsutawney Phil, something like that, Punxsutawney, Phil, the groundhog, if he sees his shadow, we're in for 6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't, we get back to bask in an early spring. The bizarre tradition, according to Commie Nonsense Network, dates back to 1887 and draws passionate crowds in the United States, even though Punxsutawney Phil's accuracy rate is far from perfect. What a mess. China virus vaccine propaganda. I know you've been waiting for this. A shot of the latest COVID-19 vaccine can help cut the chances of getting symptomatic infection by 54%, reports CNN, per early data from the scared woman-led unchristian CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who are in bed with the vaccine manufacturers who updated their formulations to target the Omicron variant XBB.1.5. It was the predominant circulating strain for much of 2023, so they're a year late. New CDC data shows the latest vaccines are similarly effective against JN.1, which has been causing most of the China virus infections in the United States since late December. During 1 week last month, there were nearly 31,000 China virus supposed hospitalizations in the United States. Hospitalized for it or hospitalized with it? There's a difference. Still, only 1 in 5 adults and 1 in 9 children have gotten the latest China virus vaccine. Wow, that's kind of high, honestly. That's what the estimate of the CDC is. So there's your vax propaganda. There was a small plane crash at a mobile home park in Clearwater, Florida on Thursday. Several fatalities, according to authorities. Firefighters responded 7:15 p.m. local time to a crash site at the Bayside Waters Mobile Home Park. City Fire Chief Scott Ehlers said Thursday at a news briefing. They found 4 trailer homes on fire, one of which had the crashed plane inside. The number of victims currently unclear. It's home to more than 110,000 residents, 23 miles west of Tampa in Florida's central west coast. A huge gas explosion in the Kenyan capital of Nairobi killed at least 3 people, injured hundreds of others, according to authorities in the East African country of Kenya. Authorities are investigating the cause of that blaze. The Grammy Awards are tonight. Not tonight, Sunday. Ugh. But they have Tracy Chapman performing with Luke Combs. He's like the country music singer, younger guy who covered Tracy Chapman's Fast Car song, the 1988 hit. So nice. Isn't that cute? He's nominated for the Best Country Solo Performance for his cover of her song. There's a bunch of sleep apnea machines. You guys know what sleep apnea is? They've killed, supposedly, according to the FDA, 561 people, supposedly, in 2021 or something like that. I don't know. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome back to the show. It's the third hour of the show. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. My biblical question for this week, the biblical question, are you afraid you're not going to make it? Are you afraid you're not going to make it? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're like busy, you can listen to the show live while you're busy by calling the listen line on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. And follow us on social media. Y'all know all that. Like, follow, ring the bell on JLP Talk on X and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. To donate and have your comments read out loud, go to Buy Me a Coffee, or rebuildingtheman.com, or Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. Bond JLP on Cash App. It's Friday. Every Friday is Get It Off Your Chest Day. This is Trump. Every Friday is Express Yourself Friday.
You, Tom, like a mug. You need to go and get yourself bleached, because everything you say about black people, and you're sitting up there looking like a tar baby.
It might sound like a semantics argument, but he's a great alien.
I wonder if he's been smoking pot.
Ali Zacharias was hanging on for dear life and the life of her beloved French bulldog puppy, Onyx, after thieves snatched the dog in broad daylight.
As he started to go faster and faster, I started to say, I'm about to die. This is my death right now. I'm about to die. Nice. It was horrifying. I didn't think that somebody was stealing my dog. I thought it was a misunderstanding. So I was like, that's my dog. Excuse me. And she wasn't listening.
If someone stole my dog, I would probably try to kill them myself. She sped off and unfortunately took this woman with her. It's devastating that someone would take someone's animal.
This dog mama says she loves her pup like a child and is desperate to get him back.
His dog mama, she had a dog. Instead of a real baby, she birthed a dog. What the? Amazing. Let me go back to David, a first-time caller out of Georgia. David, thank you for holding.
Yes, thank you, Jesse.
And so you were asking about all that stuff you've been taught in the churches, right?
Yeah, I was wondering, it sounds like you're saying, like, I guess I've been trying to work through self-discipline to create good behavior, and you're saying there's a different path.
You can't create good behavior. You don't even know what good is.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you have anger?
No, I don't have anger.
You never get angry?
I would say no. I'm very low key, and I'm not emotional at all. I guess I get that from my mother.
So you like your mother?
Yeah.
So you never feel anger?
I guess I do from time to time.
Do you feel
I wouldn't
anger?
Consider Yes, but I wouldn't consider myself an angry person in general.
Stay close to your phone. What does that mean, an angry person in general, if you have anger?
Well, just I guess a matter of frequency. I don't get angry very often, although it happens from time to time.
And if you are a Christian, why haven't you overcome the anger? Because anger is of your father, the devil.
Yeah, that's a good point. But
That was a question.
Yeah. I've heard you have this conversation a lot, so I should be better prepared. But tell me again how you differentiate the anger that's righteous, expressed in the scriptures, as opposed to the emotional human experience that we call anger.
Righteous anger, I just realized it right now, too. Righteous anger has no fear. It has no judgment. It only has observation.
Mm.
You don't have righteous anger. You have the nature of the devil anger. And you
How do I get rid of that?
By forgiving your mother. She recreated to her image. That anger you have came from her.
And how can I be certain that my forgiveness is effective or genuine? Because as I expressed earlier, I have just the other day, even though I didn't feel, whenever I reflect inside, I didn't feel like I had any animosity or anger toward my mother or anything for which to forgive her. I did express forgiveness to her, and I feel like that I have.
Why didn't you express forgiveness if you didn't think you needed to forgive?
Because I just felt like there was so much common sense and wisdom in what you were teaching.
And where do you think that came from? That kind of understanding came from?
From listening to the radio program and watching The Fallen State.
It came from God trying to call you back home. I can't make anyone see or understand at all. No other human being can make you see or understand. It only comes from God, and He only gives it to those who want to return back to the Father, who want to be born again.
Yes. Maybe I need to do more honest self-reflection on this thing with my father.
Yes.
Who's in prison.
Yeah. Did you think that, so you know you have anger, even though you said it doesn't flare up that often, you know you have it. Why did you think that was righteous anger or whatever?
Yes.
And why did you think that?
It just made sense whenever I read that in Ephesians. I heard Nick, the pastor you had on just the other day, he kind of explained that. It just made sense that there is a difference between righteous indignation and then, again, human emotional anger. So I guess I differentiated the two in my mind.
Yeah. Anger is anger, and anger is evil, and anyone that has anger is of their father, the devil. That's why they live in their mind. That's why they believe thoughts and feelings, because they are of the devil. And then you have these Pharisees, preachers who hate God. They hate God, and they're teaching you everything that's wrong because they want to keep you in hell where they are.
And so silent prayer is the answer.
Right. And that's what I'm going to encourage for you. Do your little hooping and hollering prayer. And then once you're doing hooping and hollering, be still and know God. And the silent prayer will show you how to be still. Just watch those thoughts, and you will see, and He will set you free.
That sounds great.
Are you married?
I am married. I have 3 children who are basically grown.
Does your wife obey you?
She does.
And how do you deal with the hell in her when it comes out?
Earlier in our marriage, it was probably a little too physical the way that I dealt with it now.
She used to beat you?
Not even close, no.
Oh, you used to beat her?
I wouldn't call it beat, but she's a good woman, and she's a follower of Christ.
No such thing as a good woman.
No such thing. Okay.
What's good about her?
Well, she is a great mother. She has done a fantastic job raising our children, taking care of our home, and supporting me through my career. And so I would call those things good. But I understand what you're saying as well. But she does obey me, yes.
Has she overcome her anger?
She has, I believe so.
She has no anger?
No, she does not. She's not an angry woman at all.
Did she forgive her mother?
I would have to have a conversation with her. I'm not sure exactly how she might word that, but I believe she has. She has a great relationship with both of her parents.
Tell her to forgive her mother. Because so far you haven't told me anything that says she's good.
Well, how would you categorize some of the things about her taking care of the home, raising the children well? I mean, how do you categorize those things?
When she overcome anger, she won't be good, but the spirit of the Father that will make a home in her will be good, and his spirit will work through her.
Okay, gotcha.
So here's what I recommend, David, because sometimes do the silent prayer. Don't take my word at any of this, all right? You need to see it for yourself. And so I would highly recommend that you do the silent prayer, and God will show you if you really want to know and overcome the fallen state. He will show you, and he will take over.
Thank you so much, Jesse. I'm absolutely going to do it.
Let me know how it goes, all right?
Okay, I will.
All right. Thank you, David. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Let me go all the way over to Germany and talk to a first time. There's one line open. First time caller, Colin. Colin.
Yes. Hello.
Hey, Colin. Is it Colin or Colin?
Any works.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
I hope you can hear me well.
I hear you, yes.
Yes, Jesse, I've been watching you for a while now, and I actually didn't know we could ask you questions. This is actually very helpful for some of us who are not in LA. I believe you're in LA.
Yes.
So I had a few questions. I'll try and, in the interest of time, I would ask, what would your advice be for someone who is considering becoming a pastor?
Becoming what?
A pastor.
Oh, okay.
You call yourself a pastor, I believe. So what advice would you give? I don't know which scriptures maybe you would point me to.
The best scripture that's in any Bible. If you do not consider becoming a pastor.
I know that one, yeah.
Because if you seek the kingdom of God, he will call you to do whatever work that you should be doing or he want you to do. But if you consider becoming a pastor, you're called by your father, the devil, and it'll be a waste of time. You just feel good about the title, but it'll be a waste of time. You can't consider being anything because considering is just a thought.
When did God call you?
Yeah.
How was your experience?
I'm sorry?
How was your experience? When did God call you?
I just found myself doing what I'm doing, and I had no plans, no idea. I didn't consider, I didn't fight with it or against it or anything. So just do the silent prayer, seek the kingdom of God, and let him lead your path, direct your path.
Okay. So that's interesting. Okay. So thank you for that. Then I'll ask the next question.
Because considering being a pastor is just a thought, and all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything.
Okay. Okay. So I'll ask the next question. I watched some of your old videos that you made, I think in the 90s or something. It was crazy, but yeah, I have you trying to explain the Trinity, and
No
I
such
want to
thing.
ask you, what do you? If I'm to ask you, where do you think it came from?
It came from the Pharisees. They made it up in order to seduce the people.
But the Pharisees didn't believe in Jesus. How did they?
I'm talking about the preachers of today who are preaching, who are teaching from the Bible, who have gone to Bible school and all that mess. They just made that up because they're traitors. They're enemies of God. There's no such teaching of the Trinity.
Yes, I believe in the Trinity.
You do?
And yes.
Why?
And
Why do you believe in it?
Well, because I believe the Bible teaches that, and I would say historically, I mean consistently
Where
over the
does
past 2,000 years.
Where does the Bible teach that?
Well, the Bible doesn't have the word Trinity.
So why would you come up with it then if it's not in the Bible?
Because it's a word created to describe what is in the Bible. Can I give an example?
Yes.
Do you agree that God knows everything?
Yes.
Okay, so in English we would call that omniscience. But in the Bible, the word omniscience doesn't exist. So if someone asks me, why do you believe God is omniscient? That word is not in the Bible. I'll simply say, no, actually, it simply means God knows everything. And if you go in the Bible, it says God knows everything, if that makes sense.
And so they just made up the word omniscient too?
Yeah. Omniscient is a made-up word
And
just to describe
And
what.
why do you go with the words that they make up?
Well, because it's shorter, to say omniscient instead of saying all the time God knows everything.
How is that? It's
omniscient.
simpler to say God knows everything than to say
that's a three
omniscient.
word.
But what it is feel good to say omniscient. So that makes you feel like you know God. That makes you feel like you're a follower of God, to say omniscient rather than saying God knows everything. Which one feel good? Which one feel better for the ego?
You might have a point there, but
No, you out there, you're talking to the sinners, and you're like, God is omniscient. Doesn't that feel good?
Oh yeah, it sounds like a big word.
Right, but rather than keeping it simple, God knows
Yeah.
everything. That doesn't do anything for your ego.
Yeah, fair point. So I would say the Trinity is the same. But my problem is, I think you believe the Trinity means Jesus is the Father.
Tell me in the Bible where it talks about the Trinity.
Okay, so it doesn't. There's no word Trinity, but I
So
would say
what?
the Trinity is
How did you
God
get
being-
into believing that then?
because Okay, so I'm going to explain the Trinity first. Then I'll say I believe the Bible teaches that. So yes, Jesus is God. The Holy Spirit is
Come back to your phone. I'm sorry.
and the Father.
So now,
Jesus is God. The Father is God. And the Holy Spirit.
Colin, hold on. Don't hang up, buddy. Your phone is going out, and I know you're overseas there somewhere. I'm typing a note to Hake. Let me go to. Is it Simon Shah? Simon, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Simon, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. How you doing?
All is well. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Hey, I got two things. The first one is I want to say thank you for autographing the financial success pamphlet that I received a couple of days ago.
Right on. You're welcome.
I just want to say thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And the second thing,
Y'all need to check out the 7 guaranteed steps to spiritual finance The 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Amazing.
Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome.
And also number 2 is I want to say that I agree with you in regards to the Jim Crow laws and how I don't feel that it affected black people in that way.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say this is because my parents are from Alabama. My grandparents are from Alabama, Moundsville, Alabama, to be exact. And my grandmother owned her own property at that time.
Yeah.
And my grandfather had his own business. He was the only black man in that small town with a blacksmith business.
Right on.
So I have friends here that, they talk about racism and all these different things. And when I say, you know what, I don't personally agree with that because I haven't experienced that in my own life. They throw all this hatred out there. Oh, you're Uncle Tom, you're this, that, and the third. And I just don't believe in it. I just want to say, Jesse, thank you for the message that you're putting out there because there are some of us who actually agree with you.
Right on,
based off of personal experience.
It's unfortunate for the blacks that they have allowed these enemies of theirs, so-called leaders and everything, to deceive them about all that. And the blacks don't realize that they're being deceived because these people want to control them and use them for personal gain. They've lied to them about all that. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
And Jesse, can I just make one more thing?
Yes.
You had a call last week from a caller who, and I've been dealing with this in my spirit since I was about 5 years old. And I always knew that there was something wrong with it. And I had a brother that my mother kept telling me was my brother. But when I knew he wasn't my brother, I could sense that something was off.
Yeah.
And I've always agreed with that. All children that are brother and sister come from one father.
Yeah.
And if a woman has kids by different men, I would consider them siblings because they don't come from the same father. And I've been battling with that for forever. Nobody wanted to agree with me. And you had a caller calling last week that actually proposed that question to you, and you actually ended up agreeing with him.
Because I had never thought of that before, but yet when he mentioned it, it made sense. You know what I mean? And
yes,
so
I do.
I couldn't reject it because it made sense. I just never thought of that way before.
Jesse, thank you for the message, and I appreciate you. If nobody else does, you do have people out here who appreciate you, and thank you so much.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you, and stay with it. It gets better.
Yes, sir.
All right, buddy. Amazing.
Have a good one, guys.
You too.
You know it. Bye.
Bye. Amazing. Let me go to Darren. He's been waiting a long time out of North Carolina. 888-7753-773. Darren, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, I'm from Georgia, but amazing.
Oh, it has North Carolina, but okay.
Well, Georgia on my mind.
Georgia on my mind.
Yes, sir. I was waiting on that. But anyway, Jesse, how do you know? Hold on, I wrote notes down about an hour ago listening to the show. You say that you went and forgave at like 38, right?
Yes.
Can you say about like what age you, for lack of better words, noticed, air quotes, you were without anger or fear?
At 38, when I went and forgave?
Yeah, when you went and forgave your mother, you're supposed to. God's supposed to work through you, give love because nobody has love.
Right.
God's supposed to work through you in order for you to pass down love to everybody else. At what age did you notice? Like, I know you went and forgave your mother at 38, and then he showed you that you had resentment and everything. Blah 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 blah. After asking you to see yourself. Well, is there at any point in time that you noticed that, oh, wait, I don't have any fear anymore or anger, even though, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what happened was at age 38, I finally, long story short, I asked God to let me see myself because I was going to the different churches and trying to read the Bible and all that. And I still had anger and fear and all the emotional mess. And so I finally asked God to let me see myself. And that's when he allowed me to see that I resented my mother and I become like her. And I was wrong for resenting her. And in the moment that I was able to see that's when he really started to take the anger away from me. And when I went and forgave her, shaking in my boots, I went and forgave her. He took it completely away from me, and I've had none since. So I was 38
So
years
it
old.
wasn't a growing. You didn't grow into your faith, or you didn't grow into your understanding of God. You just kind of like, okay, because I recognized through you that I resented my mother, and I recognized through you that my mother turned me against my father, and then my father was a beta, and that wasn't. And really, there wasn't. Okay, so I don't. I told my father once before that I forgive him. But that was before I ever met you, and I felt like it was kind of like empty words or whatnot like that.
Right.
And so how do I, like, I know that I forgive my father now. Like, I know that truly I do, because I want the father to forgive me. But at what point, how long after 38, after you went and forgave you, it was instant? Like, because even though I forgave my mother, even though I forgive my father, I don't feel like it's instant. I feel like I can see it now in others and in myself. I can see it.
Right.
But I have not, like, there are still times where I'm like, dang it, girl, you done, ugh. And it's just like, okay, well, and then I'll back up for a second. I'll be like, dang it, I got mad at that. And then I'll beat myself up for a little bit. And then I'll recognize, oh, wait, that's Satan too, because now he's beating you up with your own nonsense. So when does that stop?
When you stop identifying with it, because
what does that look like?
When, let's say that you get angry, you feel that anger spirit come up, right? Don't call it I got mad. Don't call it anything. Just see it, and seeing it, you will see that it's not you, and it'll be taken away from you.
And that's a death.
Yes, died from that.
How many times must I have to die?
Daily, 1,000 times a day. But
oh my, Jesse, it's really difficult. Like, I'm talking, and a biblical question, sir, if you don't care. Am I afraid I'm not going to make it? Yes. And I mean, when I say am I afraid I'm not going to make it? I mean, like, am I afraid that I'm not going to make it to the kingdom that's within me? Yes, because what you just described is so difficult. But I know it's the right way.
And who is afraid?
This person this ego of mine.
And why do you say I'm afraid then?
Because my ego is still attached to me.
No, you're attached to it.
Ooh. Well, how do I let it die without suffering every day?
By just watching it and don't give it any titles, don't identify with it, don't call it you. All you need to do is see it, watch it, watch it, watch it, watch it. And that's the light of the Father that's destroying the darkness, which is ego, which is anger. And it's not you at all. It's just a false identity that's made a home of your mind, and you've been calling it you. So don't call it you.
It really convinces me, Jesse. It convinces me
because
that it is me. It's almost like taking off a Band-Aid and it's scabbed up, and that scab's not coming out unless the Band-Aid comes with it.
I understand. But just when that comes, when those thoughts come and the feelings come and it feel like it's convincing you, just relax and go through the hell. Don't try to look away from it. Don't try to escape by picking up a book or eating a meal right then or turning on the TV. You got to go through the hell by being conscious. You got to go through hell consciously. Don't go unconscious. And on the other side of the hell is paradise, is heaven.
Okay. So identity. I'm trying to knock these out, Jesse. Identities.
Hold on one moment. Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Don't hang up.
Okay.
Hold on. 888-77 Jesse. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. And I'll be back in a moment. Check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility. I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone. And you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Quick announcement. Number one, the Hake Report is coming up at the top of this hour, thehakereport.com. If you, to the new listeners, if you have not heard the Hake Report, you're missing out. Whole lot of mess going on in this world today. The Hake Report at 9 a.m. from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. Give it a try. You will not be disappointed. And then at 12 noon, brand new episode of The Fallen State today, every Friday at 12 noon. Brand new episode. I had an amazing discussion with Dr. Theo Kasuli. He is a Greek Orthodox Christian hypnotherapist, chiropractor, and healer, all in one. Watch this.
Next time on The Fallen State.
You hypnotize people? I guide them into a relaxed state. If people understood that they were children of God, they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. Jesse, I've been through 2 open heart surgeries. They fixed me with a valve from a cow.
Wow.
I still eat beef.
All thoughts.
All thoughts.
All lies.
Are all lies.
All the time.
All the time. No. Jesse, who hurt you?
What's wrong with the blacks?
I knew you were going to ask me this question.
What's wrong with the blacks? At 12 noon Pacific time, support The Fallen State by going to thefallenstate.tv/donate or locals.com there in the description, all right? Locals.com. And then at 4 p.m., the American Anchor Baby. And the American Anchor Baby is on fire. Y'all see that new opening he gave today with Open Line Friday, right? Talented, full of energy, and a pilot. The American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Flying high on natural energy given to him by God. And then that Sunday morning, Fellowship for All. All are invited to fellowship at 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Doors open at 10:30. If you're in the LA area, come on down. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/church for more information. Rebuildingtheman.com/church, all right? And thank you for your support. I appreciate it. We had an amazing men fellowship last night. Oh, my God. It was more than a notion. And I went to bed very late. I'm like, what the? It was all worth it, though. Let me go quickly back to Darren out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind.
Amazing.
Darren, go ahead. I forgot where we left off.
Okay, so we left off at well, I'm gonna start on this. I know you're not supposed to identify with titles and everything like that.
Right.
But I know I can be a beta, right?
Yeah.
But am I not supposed to identify with that? Because I know it makes me feel weak,
with beta,
miserable. Yes.
No, don't identify. It's just a joke.
But I do feel weak, though.
And it's enough to see that you're weak, but don't identify with being weak. Just see that you're weak.
Okay. And what is the difference between forgiveness and yearning for your father?
Let me tell you this. Don't identify with being weak, because it's really not you that are weak. It's the not you that is weak. But not the real you. You don't even know who the real you are yet. So right. And the ego is about dying from the not you. All these titles and identities and ideas and things that you think you want, you've picked up all your life and identify with them, and so you stop identify with the real you and took on a fake you. So when your body and mind make you feel weak, don't identify. Just notice it. Don't call it good or bad, but see it. And seeing it isn't meaning that I'm weak or something is weak, but just don't call it you.
Well, that's very difficult to do. But another question is, how do you know for yourself? Because I know I listen to you in church. You want us to know, for that we know that we know that we know for ourselves. So how do I know? How do you know for yourself that you've, air quotes, given up anger and you're now letting God work through you? How can you? Is there any physical way or mental way, spiritual way to identify that you're now officially not the devil telling you that you did, you're working for God and you're not, or not? How do you know?
How do you know what?
That you have let go of all anger and all resentment, and you have forgiven everybody, and you are now letting God work through you. How do you know if God is working through you? How can you see that it's not the devil telling you to, oh yeah, man, you should give this money, or oh yeah, man, you should give some encouraging words, or oh yeah, man.
When you can see, when you can see. Mean? I'm sorry?
What does that mean when you can see? It's so blanket statement. And I get it. Like, God, he is a revealing voice, and the devil's voice is the one that talks to you.
Right.
But that heifer be talking to me a lot. And he'd be making me think that he's God, and he's not really. And so now I'm all kerfuffled and confused about, dude, am I doing this because I'm before God, or am I doing this because the devil's playing God?
When you can see those thoughts and feelings, then you have one mind with God. When you're not living in the illusion of a past or a future, but you're present consciously in this very moment, then you will know you're present with the Father. You will know that you're in the kingdom of heaven.
Last question, Jesse. I'm going to let you go because I'm sure you got other callers. Wow. When you are talking to people and everything like that, and you say, forgive your mother and forgive your father, and that's pretty much the start of you preparing to forgive everybody else for the rest of your life, how do you know, what does it feel like to lose fear? And how do you know that you are now fearless? Do you have to think about it?
I'm about to say, when you give it no thought. When
it never comes to thought?
When you're in the kingdom of heaven, there is no thinking. So you don't think, oh, I'm fearless, or I'm this, or I'm that. You don't even think, oh, I don't have anger. You will reflect and realize, wow, I used to overreact to that. I used to get mad about that. I notice I don't now. That's about it. But it's really no thinking about it at all.
Is noticing the same as reflecting?
Yes.
So noticing that I'm upset about something and not reacting to it, but just noticing it is the same as reflecting on it from something similar in the past?
Reflecting means that you reflect. Let's say that someone came and cursed you out, and you get mad about it. You overreact. But then you start to wake up, you start to see, and then someone come and curse you out, and you don't overreact at all. It doesn't touch you. And you will reflect, even if not then, but you'll reflect, wow, normally I would be overreacting to that. I would have gotten mad at that person. I would have felt something about that, but I didn't this time. I didn't even think about it. It didn't touch me at all. Because once you're living in your world, you're responsible for your own world, where the Father is. Once you're in your world instead of the world, you're in the world, but you're living from your world. The world cannot touch you. So the same person...
So be in the world, but not of it.
Right. And the Spirit of the Father would cause that to happen too by destroying the ego and causing you to live in the present, making you whole. When you live in the present, you become one. When you live in your mind about the past or the future, you are divided. And that's where hell is.
All right, one last question. I'm sorry, Jesse, but is it possible? I know this is going to sound crazy, but is it possible that the devil could use your show? Because I know what you're saying, and I feel what you're saying, and I know if I go with it, it's right. Because it's brought nothing but positives in my life, and great revelation in terms of, oh, that's what it was, by listening to you throughout the couple of years.
Right.
But is it possible for the devil to use your show to keep me from knowing for myself?
What do you mean?
Meaning, I already know what you're going to say, dude. Like, pretty much. Like, I already know the answers within myself.
Right.
But when I ask, what does it feel like to lose fear, blah, 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 blah. Like, I already know this. I'm feeding my intellectual knowledge. And at what point do I just keep reconfirming through you something that I already know? But if I just start doing it, it would be different. But I'm waiting on you to say this one thing that's going to be like, you know what? That's it. I'm done. And then I go do it. But that's not happening. I don't think that's going to happen. Is it possible for the devil to use your show to get me to, just live in my intellect? Because I feel like the more knowledge that I gain from you, the more revelation, the more I see, but that's all intellectual knowledge I need to know and do.
And why do you think that is intellectual knowledge?
Because I'm gathering it up and I'm storing it within myself, as a memorization or something like that.
I got you now,
yeah.
Well, all knowledge is intellectual, and it's okay. I'm giving you knowledge, but don't identify with the knowledge. Don't hold on to it. And once you don't stop identifying with knowledge, thinking that you're smart and that you know everything and trying to show off with it, once you stop identifying with it, the knowledge will disappear and the wisdom will appear. Common sense will appear. Just don't identify with the knowledge. You know how the Bible thumpers, they read the Bible and then they identify with the knowledge of the Bible and calling it knowing God, and that's all the further they go. Well, don't identify with the knowledge, but hear the knowledge, but don't identify with it. Don't think that when the devil is repeating it in your mind, he's telling you to say this to somebody and say that. Don't do that. Just stop identifying with the knowledge.
So if I'm out here in the world and I'm present and I see evil in somebody, like I used to be blind to, like a woman, because I've experienced. I've never, God bless you, Jesse, the amount of suffering in the past 3 years that you have saved me from in terms of being able to identify certain patterns of evil within women who try to seduce me to get control of me and everything like that.
Right.
Brother, you have saved me. Probably about 2 or 3 times. The thought would come into my head, oh, shoot, girl, I see what you just said, and I saw what you just did. And I know what's coming out your mouth is not how you really feel on the inside. You're poison. And then I walk away.
Nice.
And that's happened about That's happened about 3 times now.
Right on.
But but thank you, Jesse. But at what point do I? I'm gonna use an example real quick. You went back when you was in school, and your mama tell you write this 100 times on this page, this one sentence. I will not steal. I will not steal 100 times, right?
Yeah.
Right. And you get that in your head, and to the point where all right, that's almost like I view you. I love your show, Jesse, and it's helped me so much. But writing, or in this quote, listening to the show over and over again on something that I already know is reconfirming the already confirmed. How can I let go of that, which I would confirm as identify as intellectual knowledge, because I know what you're going to say, I know what to say, I know what to do, but I keep coming back for some reason, even though I already know.
Well, when you stop thinking about it, whatever needs to happen will happen naturally. Don't worry about that. Don't be in your head about that either. Because if you stop thinking even about, where would I stop listening to the show? Where did I let go? You're still into thoughts. You're not letting the truth just take over and guide you. The truth will guide you in that too, in all things.
Can the truth be suffering?
There's no suffering in the truth.
Is there tribulation in the truth?
There's no tribulation in the truth. It's only in the lie.
So if I have to, if I know I have to do something, and it is true. All right. For example, there's no tribulation in the truth. That's blowing my mind. I know it is true that I'm a sinful person. I know that I'm all into my ego, and I know that I'm all into my thoughts. But how do I know it's true when I'm finally past it? I know when you say don't think about it, you don't think about it, it just comes naturally. I can't see that, Jesse. I don't love my health. Well, apparently I do love my health, but I don't want to. It's causing me so much issues, problems, pains, consequences.
Well, when you stop calling the pain you, when you stop identifying with the pain, it's over. You're not having any pain at all. You're not having any tribulation at all. You're not having any worries, doubt, fear, suicidal thoughts, and all that. It's not you at all. So stop identifying with it and just watch it. It's not you.
Is doing something you don't want to do suffering?
What do you mean?
I don't know what I mean, but it just came to mind.
I don't know what that means.
It's doing if I know that I need to. What's a small example? If I know I need to go to, if I think I need to go to, well, the thoughts. I don't know what I mean. Like the only thing that comes to mind is. I don't know what I mean, Jesse. Sorry.
Here's what I recommend, because I gotta run. I want you to call me again. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Not every morning, not every night.
Well, I should have asked you that a long time ago and just hung up on you.
Die.
What the? Why?
Suffer and die.
You seem to really want to know the truth. Why not do the prayer so you can let go and let the truth take over?
When I sit and I do the prayer, there are moments where I don't even know, where I know, it's only after the fact that I notice. But say I'll sit up, cross my legs, and I'll close my head, and then I'll start to get uncomfortable, and I'll try to push past that. It lasts about 4, 5, 6 minutes. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't even notice it in the moment, Jesse. I don't even notice it. But something will, like a thought will come in, and I'm thirsty. Boom, get some water or something like that. And then next thing I know, I'm laying sideways, not even doing the prayer anymore. And then I notice it like 5 minutes later.
So when that happens, don't make that a big deal at all, because you've been living in darkness all your life, calling it the light. So when that happens, don't make it a big deal. Just come back to the prayer. And then if you have to do it that every 5 minutes, you still just come back to the present. back to watching the thoughts. That's all you need to do. And don't let the devil tell you it's not working, you're messing up. But listen, I gotta run. Will you call me again?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jesse.
Listen, do the prayer and for a week and let me know how it goes.
All right, I'll call you next week. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, buddy. Amazing question, though. Enjoy. It was an amazing conversation. Thank you. Super chat.
Super chats. Punchy, get out that tree before you fall. Bought a coffee. Jesse, just wondering if you had any thoughts and reflections on the passing of longtime radio host Joe Madison. Did you know he died?
That black guy?
Yeah.
He did.
2 days ago.
He did?
Something like that. 31st.
He didn't like me at all.
I know.
He did not like me at all. Zero at all. I believe I debated him once too in Washington, D.C.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But may his soul rest in peace. But I did not know he had expired.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, I remember the Great White Hope said the media is the enemy of the people. I was watching an old video of yours when you talked about Trayvon Martin shooting. Media made it seem like he was going to the store to get some candy and so-called iced tea, which wasn't because it was Arizona watermelon fruit juice cocktail. Media was trying to prevent the racial stereotype of black people in watermelon.
What the?
Keep them pithy, Mike Young.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike.
Sion bought 3 coffees. Hi, Jesse. Sion.
Okay.
Sion. What would you do if you've been targeted at a job by management because they don't like you for whatever reason when you're the best worker they got, making you hate your job? Would you just give it up or stay and fight?
Don't get angry at them. That's their world. Don't judge them. Just see it for what it is and do your work. Really, just because you are your world, you don't have to let them in your world by being angry and judging them. They can't help themselves. And if you see that you need to move on, you see what to do and do it. But don't be angry at them. They have their own problem. You don't need to be liked. Don't want to be liked. You don't need to be liked. All right, thank you.
Jeff bought a coffee. The call from Thursday, hour 3, with Oscar, whose wife left him, was simply amazing. I was working out listening to the podcast and had to pause and reflect for a moment.
Yeah, I wish him well. It was an amazing call.
Yep.
And I totally understood it. Amazing. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul, monthly subscriber on Rumble, interesting to listen to the people who are just learning what to do. Their voice tends to become happier and even giggling by the time they hang up. Maybe they can see a better life now.
Yep. Amazing, huh? Once you go back. Once you go black, you can't go back.
Jesse Kerr bought 5 coffees.
Thank you.
Happy Friday. Love you guys and all that you do.
Love you too, and thank you.
Thank you, Jesse Kerr.
Yeah, thank you, Jesse Kerr.
Rebuilding the World bought a coffee.
But see, just don't let them do what they want. It's not happening to you, all right? Just don't judge them. Go about your business, doing your work. Thank you.
Rebuilding the World says it's embarrassing how comfortable Jesse let Hank openly talk down on the blacks and belittle them as if the whites are superior when each race has their fair share of buffoonery. What a mess.
What a mess. Thank you.
That's in your head, man. Christian from Denmark bought 5 coffees. Is it ego if you would die for your children instead of them? Something?
That is total ego. What are you going to die for your children for? What's amazing. Thank you.
Stan69 donated a diamond
total ego. It feels good to think, I'll die for I ain't dying for nobody. My son, his kids, or his grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. I ain't dying for you. I ain't on that kind of ego trip. Thank you.
JLP just said there's righteous anger. What the?
Well, I'm just to try to help him understand that anger is, to be able to see evil is what God was talking about. Christ was talking about. He didn't feel anger. And I'm trying to let them understand you don't feel anything. If you feel anger, that ain't no righteous. There's no feeling in God. There's only freedom. Perfect peace. Thank you.
Shout out to Stan69 and Adult Human Male, Fatty Wat, and the rest of the supporters on D Live. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you all.
I do believe that's all for now.
That's it?
Yeah.
Amazing. I'm glad we made it through then.
Yes.
Amazing. Thank you all so much. So get on that straight and narrow and stay there by yourself. You got to take this journey alone. You can't take your husband, your wife, your children, your friends, your workers, no one. You have to travel this road alone. And it's an amazing journey. Do the silent prayer, forgive your mama. All people need to forgive their mother. Every human being on earth and your father. All right. John, a first-time call out of California. Carolina, a first-time call out of Spain, from Spain. And Eric, from first-time caller from California. I am so out of time done for today. I'll see y'all at church on Sunday, and I'll be back on Monday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake Report. And Scott is waiting on Hake from Nebraska, first-time caller. Hake will be right with you, Scott. Have a good weekend and stay present, stay conscious. Thank you all. Bye.
Look, stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show them who boss. He put a Viking in you, he put that lightning in you, igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand and to lose. You better go talk to your mama, better stop at the drama, better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if we don't, then we lose, and then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, you must know that so you get something went wrong, but
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. So I asked the question, are you better than a child molester? I've discovered over the 30 years of counseling, the one thing that's missing, and I think because it's not taught in the homes or talked about, we don't have examples of it, right, is love. Our theme this year is to bring back Christianity, to love God with all our heart, soul, and might, our neighbor as ourselves, and to endure. And there, when you're in a fallen state, people will judge the molester but think they're better than the molester. And I ask, well, why do you think you're better? When I realized it doesn't matter what you think about yourself or how much you have or don't have or how you accomplish things in life or don't. If you have no love, you have nothing.